Welcome, folks, to this evening's presentation about Finger Lakes Community Choice. We'll just give other people a chance to join. We'll just wait a minute or so before we get started. If you're new to Zoom, there are a couple tips here for you. So if you use speaker view, you can see the program full screen. Your microphone and camera will be off during the presentation, but you can ask questions using the Q&A feature. So if you kind of hover your cursor at the top or bottom of your screen, you should get a little pop-up menu. You should see the Q&A with that little speech bubble. And if you click that, you can type a question right into to submit to us. Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. This evening's presentation about Finger Lakes Community Choice, specifically for the Village of Lima and the renewable energy choices that are now available to your community as a result of a partnership between the Village of Lima and Jewel Community Power and Rocktricity. So I'm Sue Hughes Smith. I'm with Rocktricity, the local program manager. Our offices are on South Avenue in Rochester. My partners are Ben Freevert, Margie Pete, Melissa Carlson, Shannon Bellamy, and Sienna Prieto. So if you need to reach us and have any questions, give us a call and you'll get one of us on the phone, right here in the Rochester area. So before I get started, present to you your Deputy Mayor, Mr. Waddick, to say a few words.
Okay, well, we're using some new technology here, yet my audio's down, so we're using old telephone technology here so you can get my audio. But I do want to just say that we're really excited in the Village of Lima to be one of two communities in the area to move into these renewable choices which we'll be describing tonight, which is the community solar, which is going to entail, pure savings of somewhere between probably 8 and 10% on someone's total bill if you qualify. And then the second part is a 100% renewable supply. So right now, if you have not chosen a company for your electrical supply, you default or just automatically go and become a National Grid supply customer. Now, National Grid doesn't generate any electricity. They just go out onto the electric marketplace, buy the electricity, and then resell it to customers. So presently, the cost for our renewable service through this new program, through Rocktricity and Jewel, is priced at 5.9 cents a kilowatt hour, and that's guaranteed for 2 years. The price that you pay National Grid each month is a variable rate, and that has fluctuated over the last few months, and it has risen. I just received my bill today, and my National Grid supply cost is 6.3 kilowatt hours. So at least for this month of July, August, National Grid price is actually above what our 100% renewable price will be. Now, that may not, be every month that way, but we've done analysis to show that the combination of the savings from the community solar, which is the 8 to 10% on your total bill, and coupled with the 100% renewable at 5.9, would give you savings that would be comparable if you had a price from National Grid somewhere around 4.7 cents a kilowatt hour. So as you look at these renewable options that we're offering, they are going to be advantageous to just about everyone financially. At worst, it would be essentially the same price you're paying now. But the Village of Lima government is, like everyone, concerned about the future of our planet. So it's great when we can work with partners like Rocktricity and Jewel, because I can tell you this has been a four-year endeavor going through myriad of regulatory steps and changes in the way utilities will allow these programs to go forward. It's been a lot of due diligence on Rocktricity and Jules' part. It's taken an enormous amount of patience, and I'm just glad that they're our partner. They've been with us every step of the way. Very honest, just caring people, and I'm glad that Rocktricity will be providing the customer service to the people in Lima, because I know it's going to be a first-rate situation. So, with that being said, I'll leave it back over to Rocktricity to talk about some of the details, and if anyone has questions at the end that the village government should address, I would be happy to do that. So, okay, Sue, thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Deputy Mayor Waddick, appreciate it. And so welcome everyone again to a presentation about renewable energy choices in the Village of Lima. As you heard, the village government has been exploring this for a number of years. It required the passage of a local enabling law, having a public comment period on that, selecting Jewel as the approved CCA administrator, approved by the state of New York, and then Rocktricity serves as Jewel's a local program manager. So we're delighted to be presenting this evening and bringing this really nation-leading program to the Village of Lima. It's something that I would hope everyone in the village would be very proud of and would be thrilled to participate in. So it is a 100% New York State renewable electricity supply and community choice solar program. And it will launch in September of 2021. So this coming September is when the program officially begins to be available. You have received a letter that we call the opt-out letter, an educational letter about the program offerings. Please note that there are 3 versions of this letter that has gone out in your community. And those letters are different based on the eligibility of the person receiving the letter. So you may have gotten a letter that says you can participate in both supply and solar, and your neighbor might have gotten one that just said they were available or eligible for the solar, or just eligible for the supply portion. So not to be concerned, these letters were specifically sent based on your eligibility to what programs you could participate in. So I'm going to review briefly what community choice aggregation is, the benefits of CCA, as we call it, the details of your particular electricity supply contract, the community choice solar details, right? So there are these 2 offerings. And then we'll think about, well, who is eligible? What changes would you likely see on your utility bill if you participate? And if it's not for you, well, how do you choose to exit the program? And then what next steps to watch for? Okay, so community choice aggregation, CCA, is an energy purchase program. It's been authorized by the New York State Public Service Commission back in April of 2016. New York State's rules and regulations are distinct for our state. If you look up information about a handful of other states that have created these types of programs, they are not the same. We have our own unique rules and regulations, and they were created with our state in mind and as a result of looking at what other states' experiences had been, and after running a pilot program in Westchester County. So, and just so you know, the Public Service Commission is always analyzing this program and looking at ways to make it better. So what it does is it allows municipalities to become the entity that chooses the kind of the automatic energy offerings for the community. And it does that by aggregating the energy demand, or pooling together all of our energy demand and using that as leverage in the marketplace to negotiate a bulk purchase or a bulk purchase price. So anyone who's eligible to participate would be automatically included unless you take an action to leave. And that's what opt-out treatment is describing. Other entities could choose to join, like a very large energy user with a demand meter, for example, is not automatically included. And it probably wouldn't be advantageous, but they could look at what we have to offer and choose to join. For residents and small businesses, if you're eligible, you've received a letter, read the letter, ask questions, give us a call, and then decide if you would like to, support this initiative. If so, do nothing. If you want to participate in just one of the programs, you can give us a call or send back your card. So there are two offerings. One is called the Community Choice Electricity Supply. And that's what we typically think of when we think about electricity. It's the per kilowatt price. What are we paying per kilowatt hour of electricity? And now the municipality, the Village of Lima, has made the selection for the renewable New York State generated electricity as the default for the community to purchase from and to support. The second piece is Community Choice Solar. This is the nation leading program. The village is delivering guaranteed savings through a solar program to every eligible community member. And what this does is it tells the utility that, hey, anyone who participates, National Grid, you have to buy the solar energy that's being generated near us in the amount that the participants are consuming. And in return, savings is put onto the utility bill for any participant. Then it's a dollar value of credits that you would see come as a subtraction on your utility bill. And in this way, it's a mechanism that supports local solar farms and helps to bring new renewable generation onto our grid. So your options are, if you're eligible, to participate in just the supply or just the Community Choice Solar, both programs, or of course, neither program. The choice is really yours. These are just choices that you did not have available to you before the Village of Lima took this initiative. So more choices for the Village of Lima. The benefits of community choice aggregation. Well, for one thing, you're leveraging that bulk purchasing power in order to get these great products, a very competitively priced renewable electricity supply price, and of course, access to the community solar. It enables the local municipality to select and offer these energy programs to the community, and we hope it will accelerate the transition to renewable energy in our state. That's one of the reasons the state has authorized this policy. It's one tool. In addition, these contracts have been negotiated with the consumer in mind. So the consultant, which is Jewel Community Power, develops the contracts. It's that contract that goes out to bid on the energy market and that the energy companies need to respond to instead of the other way around. And in that way, we can know for sure that our community members are protected, that the conditions are favorable to you. And you'll still have all of this occurring on the one bill that you receive from National Grid. So each month, you would receive your utility bill, just as you always do. It would just have a new electric supply rate that would be fixed for 2 years. And if you choose to participate in solar, you would have that additional savings showing on your utility bill. In addition, Jewel, Community Power, likes to encourage municipalities to offer 100% renewable programs and wants to invest back into the municipality so that the Village of Lima and others can pursue other sustainability initiatives. And so Jewel has a giving back program, and that's directly connected to the community solar participation. And in addition, both of these programs are encouraged by the state of New York and gets the village points towards grant funding. In particular, for the community choice electric supply, accessing affordable, competitively priced renewable energy and supporting the New York State renewable generation. These are primarily hydropower facilities. There are dozens and dozens of them across the state of New York. Retaining those renewable energy in our own state will help us meet our state goals. It also reduces price volatility through the fixed rate contract. And then for the community choice solar, this is guaranteed savings from supporting the local solar projects, savings in the form of credits on your utility bill. So the details of the supply contract. So Joule ran a competitive process, took that contract, went out to bid on the open market. A number of companies responded with interest, and the company that offered the best price was Constellation New Energy. For 24 months, the 100% default renewable rate for residents is 5.912 cents per kilowatt hour. It's shown here as a dollar value, and slightly higher for a small business. You could, if you prefer the standard mix that includes fossil fuel generation, you could call us and we could help you opt down, still having a fixed rate, but that is not the default product. So that would require kind of a phone call to our office. Again, this is a very competitive price. If you were trying to buy renewable energy as an individual, you would pay at least 15% more. The last ad I got in the mail at my house was over 7 cents per kilowatt hour. So this is a really great price for New York State generated renewable electricity. Okay, the second offering is the Village of Lima's Community Choice Solar Program. This is the nation-leading program. Only the Village of Lima and the Village of Brockport in the whole country are able to offer this guaranteed savings to their community members. If you participate, you would basically be subscribed or enrolled as a subscriber to one of 6 solar fields, and you would receive a credit for 10% of the value of that solar energy, essentially, in addition to the Joule's Giving Back program. If you participate, you will get another letter in the mail telling you which solar field you are subscribed to and when that solar field is going to start generating those credits. And that's because these 6 projects, you can see the names of the projects on the left-hand column, where they're located, not far from us, Avon, Scottsville, so forth. The owner of those projects, how big they are, and when the field is expected to begin to generate those solar credits. When is it going to interconnect with the grid? And then will we be able to make use of that value? So you can see the first one is expected in September, then October, November, and then the next 3 in February. And that's why we'll send another letter for folks who participate, so you know which field and when to expect that savings to begin. And the savings is good for a very long time. These contracts are essentially 20-year contracts. So as long as you want to participate, it will be available for you. But participation is your choice. Assuming that you're eligible, you may participate in one program, neither programs, or both programs. The 2 main requirements are that you live in the Village of Lima and that you have not placed a block on your utility account. Sometimes that happens and you forget you've even done it. Spoke to a gentleman today who that was true for. Like years ago, he had put a block on his account, was trying to join the program, realized he had to undo that in order to move forward. Okay, in addition, if you are hoping to do the supply program with the per kilowatt price of 5.9 cents per kilowatt hour, you need to not already be enrolled with some other energy service company. So in other words, National Grid should be purchasing your electricity. And then you, unfortunately, if you've used a utility assistance program like HEAP, then you're not eligible for this supply part of the program. That's too bad. It's actually a rules related to the utility assistance programs, not related to the CCA, but that's the situation there. The community choice solar, however, more equitable. It can serve anyone who's eligible. So not restricted based on that HEAP parameter. The only restriction really is if you already have rooftop solar or some other on-site system, then you cannot participate in this community choice solar. Similarly, if you've already subscribed to a different community solar program, then you cannot be enrolled in this solar program at the same time. So one solar program per person or per account, essentially, but you can do the supply and the solar. Those work really nicely together. The supply program is supporting kind of our older infrastructure, our renewable generation that's been built from 2015 or earlier. Community choice solar supporting the bringing new renewable generation onto the grid. So both are really valuable. Your utility bill. This is probably what most of us are familiar with, and even then, not so many of us. So we're very familiar with the amount we pay. The amount we pay varies each month. In the winter, we pay more for heating. For many people, that's gas. And so that part of your bill might be higher. In the summer, many of us use air conditioning, so our electricity tends to be higher in the summer. And every month, based on our use and weather and other things, we pay more or less on our total bill. Well, community choice aggregation is just focusing in on the electricity part of the bill. And so let's look more carefully just at that portion. And you'll notice that the electricity is actually broken into really a couple different pieces, one of which we describe as delivery services. And delivery services, kind of what it sounds like, how does the electricity get delivered to your home or business? Obviously, it's coming through wires. Who's taking care of those wires? National Grid. So delivery services, all of those charges are associated with delivery services. That's what pays National Grid to do their job. And that is about 2/3 of your total electricity costs. Okay, so most of your bill really in electricity has to do with the utilities needs. Community choice aggregation is focusing on the smaller portion, the third of your bill that's described as supply. And so it's the electrons themselves. If you're like most people, the state of New York told National Grid, hey, purchase electricity for folks if they haven't already made a choice themselves. And so National Grid might be listed as your supplier, even though they don't actually generate electricity. It's just the purchaser. In this program, the supplier will become Constellation New Energy. That's what you would see listed in the bill that you would get in October, and starting in October. And instead of 3 kind of components on your bill, you'll just see one thing. You'll see the cost, the kilowatt hours, and the total paid. Okay, it's the CCA price of 5.9 cents is an all-in rate. Okay, and then finally, so that's kind of the electricity supply section. Then if you choose to participate in the community choice solar, that's where you get this guaranteed savings. It's a discount for supporting solar energy. in our communities, basically, not directly the Village of Lima, but in the utility area. And the savings offsets both the supply and the delivery. It's basically just a subtraction off your electricity bill. It'll be listed as a transfer credit / charge, and you'll see a negative number each month. And just to note, that number will vary from month to month based on the solar productivity. By the time you get to the end of the year, you should have saved between 8 and 10% off your total electricity costs. So it really is a great deal. I don't know why anyone would not take advantage of guaranteed savings. But if you're one of those people that does not want to take advantage of these programs, then you might want to know how to opt out. It is really very simple, and you have 3 options. You can sign the card that came in the mail with the letter and put it in the mail. You could call my team, Rocktricity, at 585-244-0244. Ask us some questions, decide what you want to do, and we'll happily help you take advantage of one or both or neither program. And finally, you can use the website fingerlakescommunitychoice.com and click the enrollment change form and follow the steps and take care of it yourself. So 3 options. And remember, the opt-out card that you received matches with your eligibility. So you might have just gotten one like this that says, oh, the 100% renewable electricity supply program. You might have gotten one that's just for community solar. Or what the most likely thing is for folks in Lima is you will have received a card with 2 options. If you want to participate in both programs, great, do nothing. Just recycle the card. If you only want to participate in one of the programs, then you check the box for the one that you don't want, sign it, and send it in. And if you don't want to participate at all, just check both boxes, sign it, and send it in. And we'll take care of it for you. If you give us a call, it's handy if you have this card available, because the pre-enrollment ID number helps us ensure that the account is connected with the right person, right caller. It's not essential, but it's helpful. All right, so the next steps, you've received the welcome opt-out letter, and you have this basic opt-out period. Like if you never want to be enrolled, then you exit now. And that is happening through August 18th, but you can leave at any time. There's never a penalty to leave. If you want to just try it out, please do. You can always call us, opt out at any time, no fees or penalties. If you want to participate, fantastic. We welcome you joining us in our efforts to bring more renewable energy onto the New York State grid and do what we can to address climate change. The program rate will be implemented starting at your meter read in September. So whatever date National Grid reads your meter, whether it's September 1st or September 29th, that's when the new rate will begin, the 5.912 cents per kilowatt hour if you're a resident. And the name Constellation New Energy will appear on your October bill. The solar credits, guaranteed savings, it's a great deal. You'll receive an additional letter if you participate telling you which solar field and when those solar credits will begin. Could be September, October, November, could be February, or late 2021, early 2022. Okay, so thank you very much for listening, and don't hesitate to check out the website. There's frequently asked questions. There's information on there should you be looking for more information. And the contact information, should you want to call Rocktricity and speak with us and get answers to any questions you have, it's 585-244-0244 or info@fingerlakescommunitychoice.com. It's a little long, but you can email us. Same team of six. We'll answer those emails. Really, we're here to help. So whatever you need, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, and that's all I have this evening. Are there any questions?
There are no questions.
Okay. Deputy Mayor, did you want any closing remarks or? John, I can't hear you. Sorry, I jinxed you.
Okay, I'm on now.
Oh, there
Okay,
you go. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hey, technically challenged here with a phone. What can I say? I just want to say I was very pleased with this presentation. You know, there have been a few people, you know, the letter, there was multiple pages. You know, it's sometimes very difficult to, you know, understand a new concept, a new thing. There's 2 new programs, there's lots of pages. But this, you know, I will direct everyone, because we do have a link on our villageoflima.us website, to this presentation. And this has been recorded and will be available. That's correct, right?
That is correct. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and showing the bill and where it comes, and I think it was a very good thing. And you did mention things about New York State grant funding. The Village of Lima has been very aggressive in the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority's Clean Energy Communities program. We get grant funding depending on how many renewable energy things that we accomplish. We're just completing our LED light project, which will bring us to 3,000 points, which will give the Village of Lima a $10,000 grant. We have just implemented New York Stretch Energy Code. We're getting a $5,000 grant for that. When we get all this implemented with the community solar and the 100% renewable, that will bring us to the ultimate threshold of 5,000 points and will bring us approximately another $100,000. Now, that money is only available to 4 communities our size in the Western New York area. But we're committed to be one of the first 4, and I'm very confident we are going to attain that. So, you know, Village of Lima is going to, you know, leverage this program and all the other energy programs we've done, and we're bringing in more money into the village to really reinvest in perhaps more sustainability things. Not to mention, Sue had mentioned that as part of the community solar program that we're first in the nation of, Juul Energy will be providing us with a pretty sizable grant. So maybe it's somewhere in the, you know, the many tens of thousands of dollars, which will also be earmarked to community sustainability. So you're going to see great things happen here in Lima. We've been a leader. We want to continue to be a leader. And being partnered with Rocktricity and Juul has helped us attain that leadership position. So thank you, Sue, Ben, Shannon, and the whole team out there at Rocktricity. You've been helpful every step of the way with helpful advice, sometimes just a shoulder to cry on or just some encouragement for us. But it's been a long, long road, and to actually see it come to fruition just puts a big smile on my face. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And really, tremendous thanks to you and the Village of Lima for your leadership and patience in getting this far. It's really exciting to hear about all of the great things that are happening in the Village of Lima. I hope everybody feels really proud who lives there. So thank you so much, and I hope everybody has a great night.